It's time for Twig This Week in Google. Jeff Jarvis is here, Aunt Pruitt, Stacey Higginbotham. Stacey has the latest on all of the things Amazon announced today, including that $1,000 robot that does absolutely nothing. We'll also talk about Russia threatening to ban Google after their ban of YouTube Russian channels. And, well, let's not recycle the alligator yet. It's all coming up next on Twig.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is Twig, This Week in Google, episode 631, recorded September 29th, 2021. Mr. Goxx. This episode of This Week in Google is brought to you by Command Line Heroes, an original podcast from Red Hat that tells the epic true tales of developers, programmers, hackers, geeks, and open source rebels who are revolutionizing the technology landscape. Season 8 is out now. Search for Command Line Heroes on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you listen to podcasts. It's time for Twig This Week in Google, the show where we cover the latest from the Googleverse, the Facebookverse, the Twitterverse, and all the other verses. Stacey Higginbotham has made it. We thought you'd be late. She was riding a ferry moments ago. Your hair looks perfect, given that you just got off a boat. Is that the only way you can get to the island?
There's a land crossing, but it takes an hour and a half to drive all the way around, and you've got to go up through Tacoma.
Yow.
So yeah, the boat.
And knowing Jeff Jarvis, he wouldn't want to go over a bridge anyway.
Well, and the bridge is what was replaced. It replaced Galloping Gertie. So Jeff would really not want to go on that one.
See, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. These bridges. I'm telling you.
Why do they call it Galloping Gertie?
Yeah, it.
I have a video. I just want to give Stacey the chance to explain Galloping Gertie. This was a bridge that was, oh my God, look at that.
Oh, Lord almighty.
Over the Tacoma Narrows. That's Jeff's worst nightmare.
Yep.
Wow.
That it is.
Wow.
Oh, there goes Jeff over the side.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I'm going to turn off the sound so this doesn't get taken down. Holy cow. So, and that was just from wind. That wasn't an earthquake or anything.
No, that was just the way Galloping Gertie behaved. But now it's different. Tacoma Narrows.
That's what they all say.
That would hurl you off.
Bridge.
That is such a brisk vibration. I think it would hurl you off. Lone car left unspan.
Is that in Disneyland?
Yeah.
Did we see it yeeted through the air?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Roadway breaks up. So obviously they had to replace Galloping Gertie.
Yes, this is not the same bridge.
Wow. We've already learned something in the first minute of the show, ladies and gentlemen. And now here he is, the bridgeophobe himself, the man who knows Galloping Gertie intimately. Every bridge is a Galloping Gertie to him, the Leonard Tao Professor for Journalistic Innovation at the Craig Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York. We couldn't do it without you, Aunt. When you weren't here.
Yeah, we tried on Twit.
We can't do it.
Nobody knew what the hell we were doing.
I
Why are you saying
that.
Craig?
I noticed that, and I enjoyed Sunday show.
Aunt Pruitt is hands-on photography and, of course, the community manager at our fabulous Club Twit and the father of dragons. It's great to have him.
Hardheads. They're not dragons. They're hardheads.
They're hardheads. It's great to have him on the show today. If I'm a little bit shaky, you'll have to forgive me because I just got my pre-nouveau scans back of my body.
Oh boy!
Do not ever do this. I'm just.
Oh no, Leo.
Do you feel all of the bacteria and stuff crawling?
Remember I talked about the MRI that I got, the special MRI where they do hundreds of extra images or something. And the good news is, I don't think I have cancer.
But you got a little bit of everything else?
I got an atrophied kidney. I've got for some reason, I don't know why they even marked this, my spine ends at T2. I don't know if that means I got no butt. I don't know what the hell any of this means. I guess
T2, that's thoracic too? Wait,
Yeah.
It just stops?
Here, I'll read it to you.
Well, he's been called spineless by others.
I will read it to you.
Now we know for
this
sure.
This is a clinical observation. And by the way, you can see it in this picture. I'm going to scroll it down because you don't want you to see my junk. But
we don't want to see that
worse,
either.
No.
Inside your junk.
Yeah, actually, you don't really see anything. It's a little disappointing.
Is it? Is it disappointing?
I was hoping to be a little more prominent in the photographs. I'm just saying.
Move along.
There's a lot of little things, but this is exactly what they were saying. Why doctors hate these things. These are body scans that you do without any indication that there's a problem, just kind of to see if there's anything going on. Is inevitably you find things and then you pester them. What's wrong? What's wrong, doctor?
Why didn't you see this?
Why didn't you see this?
Atrophied kidney. That sounds like no fun.
That doesn't sound good, but I think it's.
You've got two.
You got two. They said you may not have ever seen any symptoms because you got two, and one may even be working. It's just a little smaller than the other. I think it's one of those things like everybody's a little weird. I got one kidney smaller than the other. Big deal. Anyway, I'll.
This scan sounds like the real life version of WebMD.
It's kind of that.
The kidney is smaller than
It's
normal.
kind of that. Now
It's cancer.
There's one that I never even thought about, but they say discuss this finding with your doctor on a semi-urgent basis. I have mastoiditis in my right sinus. But
like a sinus infection?
I don't know. My right mastoid. There's a
Sinus
serious
just means
bacterial
swollen.
infection that affects the
Sinus usually
mastoid
means
bone
it's like
behind the ear.
If you look at the picture, my mastoid on the right is just loaded with something, and the one on the left is empty.
Pus.
So, oh my God. So that could explain nothing. I have had no symptoms.
No sinus? You don't have any sinus pain or anything?
No, my nose is a little
Which
clogged
side?
up.
Is it the side you put the hearing thing in or not?
No, it's this side.
The IFB?
No, I put it in both.
Which side do you put the IFB in?
No, but I do have, actually, I just feel a little bit congested on the right side now, I think, right? Because
Now you
Oh, of course.
Oh, doctor, I have been wondering why I'm tilted to the right all the time.
Sponsored
Maybe
by
they'll fix it
WebMD.
and your voice will change.
oh my God, that's exactly what they said on Reddit. Well, not exactly, but that's what they say on Reddit. They said, look, you're going to find things wrong because there's a lot of false positives. You're going to spend a lot of money, time correcting them, and it may actually make things bad, make things worse because maybe they'd say, oh, well, they're going to fix your mastoid. I'm going to start like this for the rest of my life, and it's my whole career.
That'll make for a fun podcast.
Wouldn't that be good? Hi, Aunt. Good to see you. Anyway. So we were talking, in fact, we talked a lot. By the way, you were right, Ant. Great show on Sunday on Twit. We had Jeff joined two other very
At the
distinguished.
big kids table, I'm always so
Boy.
happy.
It
I
was
got to have a glass of wine in front of me.
good.
It was too big, the big kids. I was completely intimidated.
It was really good.
Two professors of journalism, Jeff Jarvis and Dan Gilmore from Arizona State University's Cronkite School, and a guy that I've idolized since I started in tech journalism, Stephen Levy, who wrote Hackers and many other great books, and just wrote a Facebook book. And of
So
course,
it was the white male journalism panel?
Yes, it was.
it's the one you were talking about last time.
The one you were talking about.
you
boy,
called
it.
it.
Really good.
I should have had Kara Switcher on. That would have really added to the fun.
Liven things up.
Somehow I think she's hard to book.
She used to be on Twitter a lot.
She used to be on here a lot. I remember watching her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was before. Yeah.
It was when she was back with All Things D, and we actually you may think that she canceled us. We canceled her because her dog pooped in the living room carpet. So
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
wow. So no,
Her living room or your living room?
ours.
No, I hear the studio.
She was in the studio.
Oh.
What kind of dog does Kara Swisher have?
I forgot. What kind of? Do you remember, John? It was a little dog, and not a big deal. I'm just kidding. I mean, these things happen. I've pooped on the living room carpet. It's just with my atrophied kidney.
Hey, let's
sometimes
talk
I don't
about
have a
tech
choice.
news.
No, the reason
Facebook, Amazon.
That's why I brought it up, because we talked a lot about the Wall Street Journal Facebook files. I think it's still going on. I feel like the Wall Street Journal is still publishing articles.
Or our conversation's still going on. Yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of endless. And then Facebook is going to be called on the carpet. Actually, Congress, the Senate has, I believe, the whistleblower, they want whistleblower status, who revealed the information from the internal Facebook studies to the Wall Street Journal. Facebook, of course, said, well, that's not, you're not seeing the whole picture. We were talking last week on this show about the fact that Instagram has, in their studies, showed that made some girls who felt bad about themselves feel worse. But then Facebook comes back with, in 11 out of 12 metrics, girls felt better. So it's one of those, and of course they're still not releasing.
Of the 12 they counted, there's probably about 30 metrics.
I think though the pressure is starting to kind of tell. The head of safety from Facebook is testifying in front of the Senate this week, and they say that we will publish some. Nick Clegg was speaking at a public event hosted by The Atlantic. They will release the data to Congress before making it available to the public, particularly 2 internal slide decks talking about how Instagram affects teens' mental health. But I think there is one positive side of this. Adam Mosseri, the head of Facebook's Instagram, said we are going to pause the development of an Instagram for kids.
Yeah, and why they ever started it. I mean, it's just indicative of not reading the room.
Yeah. The idea, because of course, COPPA, the Child Online Protection and Privacy Act, prevents companies from gathering data on kids under 13, which really hampers Facebook. So in theory, kids under 13 can't join Instagram or Facebook. So they were going to make an Instagram Kids for kids under 13.
Which and one can argue, I'm not going to argue this, one could argue that knowing that that's happening anyway, it's wiser to create a place that is going to be safer. However, what it looks like instead is exploitation of young people, and it's just not smart.
I think, I think what Facebook would do is design it so that it doesn't collect data. But that's not the only hazard. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Stacey.
Well, no, it's not just, if they design it so they don't collect data, how can they market to the children? And they really want to make money. I mean, if you are a company like Facebook or even Google, there's no value in marketing to kids because you can't sell their information, which is your core business model.
Which is probably why you don't have Saturday morning cartoons anymore, right?
Do they not exist? I mean, you have like Nickelodeon.
No, you don't see them anymore.
You don't see them anymore, and it's not because of COPPA, but it's because of earlier efforts to reduce advertising on children's TV.
And it's not that you're selling
crazy story.
their data. Just to be precise here, right? It's not because they're selling their data. It's targeting the advertising to them. It's marketing to them.
Right.
And secondarily, and hold on a second, but secondarily, I want to make sure this point gets in. And the concern of some parents groups, it hooks kids on Facebook at an early age.
Right.
So
and that's the strategic.
It's a funnel into adult Facebook and Instagram.
That's probably the reason to do it.
Yeah. What's the story, Stacey?
Okay. Crazy story. Type in why He-Man rides a big green cat. The answer was back in the 80s when they built cartoons just to market stuff, but the FTC was like, hey, guys, you have to have actual content. You can't just make marketing copy for kids. The reason is the toy company that wanted to sell He-Man stuff, Mattel had a big green cat, and they didn't want to pay for a better animal for He-Man. So they were like, buddy, just use this big green cat. It's the best story. There it is.
Here's the story from Wikipedia. While the decision was made for He-Man to have some sort of vehicle, they no longer had the budget to be able to produce one. The decision was then made to repurpose a tiger from the Big Jim toy line. However, it wasn't the same scale as He-Man, and compared to He-Man, was about the size of a horse. Cleveland, however, Paul Cleveland, vice president of Mattel marketing, insisted it be used even after artist Tony Guerrero made a green version in an attempt to discourage Cleveland, who instead simply suggested putting a saddle on it, which resulted in Battle Cat's final design. Holy cow.
So we have always compromised our artistic and whatever principles we have in exchange for marketing and selling things at a profit. Yay.
Oh, yeah. Although one could argue He-Man was not exactly the pinnacle
of art. Yeah.
Fine art.
Yeah.
Okay, but you know what?
He looks like he just stepped out of a German sauna.
Awesome.
He's a little
I love
Aryan.
those
And
shows.
did you watch
confess.
He-Man?
I loved it, and every time I see a He-Man
Yes.
ad or whatever, it warms my heart, but it also reminds me of my dad yelling at me. Well, he didn't yell, but he always say, "I bet he did his push-ups today. Did you?"
Is that why you're so ripped? Because you grew up watching this?
When I watched He-Man, and every time my dad knew I was watching it, he would usually reference, "Did you do your push-ups today?"
I'm just
'Cause I
glad
bet He-Man did.
You didn't adopt the blonde page boy hairstyle.
Yeah.
That would be no.
We can get you a wig. Let's get him a wig and a big green
Tomorrow
cat.
belongs to me.
Yeah, really.
I love that show, though. I did. And I loved She-Ra.
Oh, there she is. He-Man and
wasn't
She-Ra.
She-Ra. No, that's not She-Ra.
That's not She-Ra?
his,
That's some eagle
no,
lady?
that's just like-
Sorcerer.
Oh.
Yeah.
The sorcerer.
Oh, my God.
They
I'm
were
glad that-
terrible. If you watch them now, you're like, oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, it's hard to watch now.
I guess the point really is that you survived it. A whole generation survived it.
But I did eat a lot of sugary cereals and asked my mom, and I had Castle Grayskull. I had an entire She-Ra set. I mean,
But it didn't in the long run pollute you, did it?
She still eats waffles.
Still eating waffles.
It may be why I have a
Mattel and
shriveled
He-Man.
kidney. I don't know. For all I know, I could blame that on He-Man
You have
too.
a mini kidney.
A little mini kidney. They probably got it from the Big Jim kidney set, and they just didn't want to resize it to fit. Anyway, good news. Instagram has abandoned its plan to, although
That's good news.
Wall Street Journal, not to be slowed in their role, continues with the Facebook's file. Facebook's effort to attract preteens goes beyond Instagram Kids, documents show. Exploring play dates as a growth lever. Holy cow.
yeah, this is, I mean, you don't want to think about people. I mean, I know people market to children. I will say the best thing about Anna's childhood
McDonald's does
was
it all
that
the
she didn't
time.
have,
Yeah.
like, because we had Netflix and things, she didn't actually watch ads until like she was like 6 or 7. But like, it's very insidious, like the idea that your children are going to be marketed to on a platform that also, as they grow, is going to make them question their self-worth. I mean, it's like you're not doing anything good for the kids.
Actually, McDonald's, I just learned this to my great dismay, has several years ago, abandoned Ronald McDonald, the clown.
Yeah, they did.
But they didn't do that because they were worried about influencing kids. They did it because they learned that kids were scared of clowns.
Scared of Ronald McDonald.
Uh-huh.
But no, what I was saying, they marketed to kids with those arches.
And
you go anywhere.
the Happy Meals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the playground.
And the playground.
Playground is
And French fries, ladies and gentlemen, and French fries.
Yes.
Well, no, I like
Yes.
French fries.
Yeah.
Here's the slide from the Tweens Competitive Audit, source February 2020 Facebook presentation. Why do we care about tweens? They are a valuable but untapped audience. Our ultimate, now this, again, this slide is in the Wall Street Journal and it is claimed to be from a leaker, but, we haven't seen the actual Facebook release. Our ultimate goal, the slide says, is messaging primacy with U.S. teens, which may also lead to winning with teens. So there you go. That's the funnel right there. If we can get primacy and messaging with them when they're young, they will continue using Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp. MK begins to lose PMF as kids age. Somebody's going to have to interpret that for me. MK.
North Korea starts to lose. I don't know.
Our primacy.
No idea.
Facebook's going to kidnap kids from North Korea. That's
MK.
it. Yeah, I got it.
MK.
Well, MK.
Well, Google gets kids for Google Classrooms because a lot of classrooms use it, right? And then in Apple, they usually get Apple devices at a certain income level. So what you get is kids moving between those two platforms, and Facebook on the messaging side loses out.
Our primacy
I can see-
declines at 10, and 82% of our users are 10 or younger in some product. I don't know what that is. MK. What's MK? Something kids.
Oh, Kevin says it's mini kidney.
Thank you, Kevin.
He's trolling.
Kevin Trollful. MK something kids. It must be something they're doing to kids.
Messenger
kids. Oh, they do have a messenger for kids, don't they? That's what they're talking about.
Yeah,
Ant speaks Facebook.
Oh, wait a minute. No, Mr. Reagan said it in the chat as well. Messenger kids.
Messenger kids.
So it's not just me.
Loses PMF, which is some sort of primary marketing focus or something. As kids age, our primacy declines at 10. How depressing! And users are 10. 82% of users are 10 or younger. But all they're really saying is we don't get tweens. So how do we get tweens? Here's a 10-year-old boy from Detroit quoted on the slide. I don't think I would use it. That's just me. I would have to get my mom's permission to connect with my friends, and everyone would make fun of me. That's as if I was riding a big green cat. I think it
had pus in my earplug.
Yeah, stop
Somebody
it.
put that mastoid back in.
Mini
please.
kidney. Virtually, Wall Street Journal is of course points out that virtually every major social media platform, including ByteDance Limited's TikTok and YouTube, has confronted legal or regulatory problems related to how children use its products. And everybody wants kids. All broadcasting wants kids too, because again, the habit formed is valuable.
And to look at it for a moment. Go ahead, Pat.
Is this a situation where Facebook and Instagram are damned if they do and damned if they don't, because they've already created this monster in air quotes, and they're saying, hey, we want to try to fix this monster, but at the same time, they're going to be targeted because they are a monster and say, hey, well, we don't want you to bring those same habits over to this new product that you're building for our kids. Is it damn if you do, damn if you don't for them?
I think you're right, Ant, but it would have maybe worked 6 years ago, given present situation. Starting anything for kids is just going to get you attacked, and rightfully so.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, on the other hand, Leo, you're talking about the marketer's perspective, right? If you're a kid, you want to watch cartoons. You want to go see pictures.
I love Saturday morning.
You want these things, right?
Day, yeah.
So, can somebody, my daughter, when American Girl had a social network that was very closely policed, and it was wonderful, and my daughter was there, and then they killed it, and she was just crestfallen. I'm sure it was too expensive for them, and the marketing value wasn't there. But kids do want this, and the question is, can somebody create something that has parental control that doesn't deal with marketing?
Companies have created this. Kids look at Minecraft, look at Roblox, look at Fortnite, look at
some aren't gamers.
ISP.
Star Stables.
Not all kids are gamers. That's all I'm saying.
My daughter
No, I know, but look at
played Neopets.
Look at your ISP.
She loved Neopets, and that was online, probably gathering a lot of information about her. I don't know if I would let her do it now, knowing what I know.
Well, because you're paranoid now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about Russia. Actually, it all starts with YouTube banning, and they announced this this week, any anti-vaccine websites, including Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and the very popular Joseph Mercola. Dr. Mercola is, sells his own varieties of vitamins and things, but doesn't want you to get vaccinated. Both have been knocked off of YouTube. Facebook banned misinformation on vaccines 7 months ago, but they still have both Kennedy and Mercola. Twitter, both accounts are still active. Dr. Mercola said, I shouldn't call him a doctor. He's
please.
He's not an MD.
At least put air quotes around it. It's like Arizona audit.
I think is he an osteopath? I think he's an osteopath. Mercola said he's being censored. Yeah, that's exactly what is happening. And said without presenting evidence that vaccines had killed many people. Kennedy also said he was being censored.
Why?
There's no instance in history when censorship and secrecy has advanced either democracy or public health. Well, that might be accurate. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. More than a third of the world's but this isn't censorship in the sense of government censorship. This is just a private website declining to allow you to promote your fallacious theories.
Exactly.
Which seems okay to me.
Yeah.
And we should say vaccines have been proven to be overwhelmingly safe and effective in preventing disease of all kinds. By the way, this isn't COVID vaccines exclusively.
It's all vaccines.
It's all vaccines. So they're basically trying to stop the anti-vax movement.
So that decision led them to also take down RT videos,
which is Russia Today, which is
wow,
the
I
Russian
didn't see that.
government's news service. And in Germany,
news. Shall we air quotes again, please?
News. It's really a propaganda service, right?
Yes.
Posing as a news service. Although I suppose in Russia they'd say the same about Voice of America, but I think it's pretty much a blatant propaganda service. So YouTube has shut down 2 German language channels. This is in Germany, managed by RT. They were deleted after they published what YouTube called misinformation about COVID-19 and coronavirus vaccines, to which the Russia's communications ministry, Roskomnadzor, said it sent a letter to Google demanding that all restrictions on YouTube channels RTDE, that's RT Germany, and Der Verlende Part, which means what? The other story, operated by Russian media outlet Russia Today, be lifted as soon as possible. And the threat was to fully or partially restrict YouTube in Russia or fine Google if the channels were not restored. So that's still pending. This just happened. Russia has also, by the way, said Google needs to ban content that we don't.
But at the same time,
we don't like. A Moscow court fined Alphabet 6.5 million rubles, which is a mere $89,000, for not deleting content that Russia deems illegal. Remember, though, both Apple and Google have deleted during the Russian elections apps from the opposition from Navalny in response to a Russian request. So, you know, and part of the problem is that Russia has a law that it turns out a lot of totalitarian regimes do this, requiring these companies have in-country representatives, employees that they can complain to and threaten to jail. And both Google, Twitter, Facebook do that. They've responded that way, Apple. So that some people think that this is part of the reason why Apple and Google are more amenable, is they don't want these people to be thrown in the gulag. Russia, it's interesting. I don't think Russia, we're not talking China here. Google walked away from 1 billion people in China. Russia is not a huge economic power, not a huge market. You could, without much harm, I think, could you not walk away from Russia? I wonder why they don't.
There are 144.4 million people in Russia, should you care.
Yeah, it's not a huge economy. No, I know for a fact, especially due to the politics and their Gazprom, their big Russian oil company, has been, I think, is somewhat under sanction, right?
They're sanctioned because they're just like a kleptocracy for Putin and his
because of
oligarchs.
the invasion of Ukraine.
Oh, yeah, that too.
I don't know
Right.
if I Google the value of the Russian economy to Google. So the entire Russian stock market is worth $325 billion. Google is worth $340 billion. So in other words, Google is worth more than the entire value of the Russian stock market. In other words, I think you could walk away. I think you could walk away.
If Google doesn't fight, starts leaving the countries where it's causing, where they're caused trouble.
Let's be clear, they're not fighting. The choice is leave or give up. Right? The only way you could fight is walk away.
Well, yeah, I mean, they could fine $86,000 and just keep going and keep doing the same thing.
I guess they could do that. They could afford to do that. Yeah.
In Russia, though, continuing to piss off the Russian government does
not
mean
a good strategy.
Pain for your people there. Yeah, it's
not a long-term good strategy. Anyway, I've wondered myself for a while now why Apple and Google just kind of seem to bow down to pressure from the Russian government. I guess I kind of understand from a financial point of view why they might do what China asks them to do. But Russia's getting more and more aggressive about this stuff.
But the consistency is we follow the local laws.
Right.
So that's where they're stuck is except where we don't like them. Yeah, I think so. But that's a hard.
But so taking down the RT in Germany is not against the law. In fact, it's probably
because that was an activity in Germany.
It was in Germany. So
and the Russians are also accusing Germany of having had the German government having had.
But what if Russia then says, "Okay, well, we're going to fine you and sanction you
for what you do in Germany"?
Yeah, which they're threatening to do. Then what do you do, Google? You just pay the fine. You keep paying the fine, or you don't pay the fine at all.
Well, wait. Didn't YouTube Turkey? Did YouTube leave Turkey shut down because it refused to go along for a while, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So there is precedent here.
Yeah. I don't know. All this is above my pay grade. I just thought I'd mention those three stories because they're all kind of related. All right, well, I'm going to take a break, and then the biggest story today, and I know Stacy was paying attention, is Amazon's event, in particular, Astro the spy robot. We will talk about that.
The spy robot. Come on.
I'm sure
it was designed to be a security robot.
Yeah.
That's not a spy, but a police officer in your home.
It follows strangers around your house.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. I mean, a dog would do that, right?
Better not.
Yeah. Yeah. My dog would follow you around barking and trying to lick you. It's very confusing.
I want some food. And then that's more than that. They announced more than that. Actually, Amazon, as usual with these product announcements. And unfortunately, they don't do a live stream. So I would be thrilled to sit down and, snark over a live stream, but they don't do that. But Stacy,
Kevin and I snarked over a live stream.
Yeah, with each other.
We had a lovely time going back and forth, so we can share some of that with you.
Coming up.
I knew that would be a highlight this week. I said, I can't wait.
I know. As soon as I saw Astro, I said, I know what we're talking about. Our show today brought to you by a really excellent podcast from Red Hat. I love it that Red Hat likes us enough to say, hey, would you tell your audience about our podcast? And I think you would like this. It's called Command Line Heroes. That gives you an idea. It's epic true tales of developers, programmers, hackers, geeks, open source rebels who are revolutionizing the technology landscape. The host, of course, is the wonderful Saranya Barak. I was just reading a new book, a 20th anniversary edition of a classic programming book called Pragmatic Programmer. And Saran wrote the foreword to it, which I thought was great. She, in Command Line Heroes, tackles a particular question this season. This is the 8th season, which is amazing. And it's all about this season is all about robots. Love them. Perfect timing. What is a robot? Is it a servant? Yes. A factory worker? Yes. A prosthetic? He could be. A vehicle? Absolutely. A spy in your house? Well, I guess so. Why do we build robots that look like us? Ever wonder about that? And we often ask whether we can trust robots, but Saran asks an interesting question. Can robots trust us? Of course, robots are the meat of many a science fiction story, and we presume in the future they'll serve our every need. Will they develop a mind of their own? Will they turn against us? Or will they be the savior of humanity? This is what it's all about. Season 8 of Command Line Heroes. And it actually talks about the robots that are already in our midst and the determined dreamers who are bringing them to life. 8 episodes in Season 8, comparing the science fiction robot with the reality of robots today. Yeah, actually, I have a little clip. This is from Robots as a Servant. Here's a little clip for you.
While making this season, we discovered a robot reality that's pretty removed from the robots we imagine. And yet, all those misguided ideas about what a robot should be actually shaped what robots are And no robot fiction shaped things more than the story we told ourselves about robotic servants.
Command Line Heroes Season 8 is out now. It's all about robots, an award-winning podcast hosted by Saron Yabarak, produced by Red Hat, so you know it's going to be good. Season 8 is out now. Search for Command Line Heroes on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you listen to podcasts, and I will also put a link in the show notes for today's episode at twit.tv/twig. My thanks to Command Line Heroes so much for their support. We love promoting other people's great podcasts. Thank you, Saron, and thank you, Command Line Heroes, and thank you, Red Hat. Just look for Command Line Heroes in your favorite podcast player. All right, so they do these events. It feels like, Stacy, every few months, Amazon does.
For the last 4 years, it's been every September. They've invited people to. So this is the big one. This is their big device launch, although this year was way fewer devices than normal, and actually fewer infrastructure launches. So I look at this as like a maturation of their strategy with just a few devices, way more services. They're pushing the envelope forward on what they call ambient intelligence, what we might think of as the smart home, or
it all kind of
computing
follows
without screens.
It follows along with what they've been doing all along. There's more Echoes, there's more Ring cameras. There's a Ring Alarm Pro system, which takes another Amazon product, Eero, and incorporates that into the system. I think was there anything, before we get to Astro, was there anything particularly interesting to you in the things they announced?
There were really a couple things. One, the Amazon Glow, which was a video conferencing device for kids. Less so on the video conferencing front, but more on what they have is a vertically oriented screen that kids can talk to people with. And then it has a projector coming out the front that projects things like games, puzzles, whatever. So the kids can play with someone on the other, like
on a placemat in front of them.
Yeah. Well, it's not a placemat. That's the actual projection.
Yeah, no,
So
I know, but it's onto some sort of placemat-sized thing in front of the kid.
There's not a placemat.
Is it a projection or is it a camera taking an image to share it?
It is a projection of an image, and that's actually not on a placemat.
What's it on?
Well, they may have a placemat there, but they showed it also without a placemat.
Oh, you don't have to.
I think the device inside is actually from Bosch, but I'm not sure. I saw this in 2018 at CES.
Pico projection, right?
It was a Pico projector, but the cool thing about it is you could actually interact with it, which is different than most projections. So you could actually create a touch screen with it. It also was really good because when you changed the distance, the resolution didn't change. So
yeah.
And it was actually a really cool device. Anyway, so I was excited about this because we haven't seen projection in the smart home, and there's a couple things that are interesting here. We already saw voice as being like, ooh, we're also high on voice. And then we were like, oh, but we need a display. And now we're looking at a different way to view a display. And so I was really keen on this because I had thought it was going to be,
I like this because a kid it's a little more like a book. So grandma can be reading and the kid's going to see the projection of the page in front of her.
Yeah,
or somebody said this is going to confuse the hell out of grandma.
Well, grandma's got to be somewhat literate, right?
Yeah.
I don't think
grandma does it on a tablet. It looked like there's a tablet that you could use, like an Echo Fire tablet that you would use to.
Yeah, I don't know what they're using on grandma's end. I really don't. They might have the same device on the other end. It's unclear to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it looks like she's talking to something like that. Yeah. Yeah, because she's sitting up straight. It's interesting. Yeah. $250. Here's a video we can watch of the kids running around.
I remember seeing stuff.
You won't give me Instagram, so give me this Amazon thing.
Oh yeah, see the grandparents are holding a Fire tablet. Yeah, I think this is kind of cool.
I think it's cool because I want to make projection mainstream in the smart home because I think there's so many opportunities where you don't need a full display. Like you could just project something and interact with it. So that's one. The other thing that I thought was cool, other than the robot, which we'll get to, Amazon killed their Care Hub app, which was their service for aging in place, and they introduced something called Amazon, was it Alexa Together? I think it was Alexa Together. And this is a $19.99 a month subscription for aging in place. But two neat things here, and Jeff, you might appreciate this. One is it gives you the ability to collaborate with someone else, like if you have other family members monitoring your parents, maybe. Beforehand, it was like me to my parent, but I couldn't invite my brothers and sisters in. So you could add more people. And then two, it gives you the ability to sign your parents or whoever the caregivee is up for things and to help them troubleshoot and add contacts and do things so they don't have to do it. I don't know if it gives them the ability to set it up. So like if you gave your father an Echo, for example, you could share everything that happens on that Echo with, you have a sister, yes?
Yes.
So
Exactly,
you and
yes.
your sister could
The
both
Reverend
be on
Jarvis.
this account. Okay. So that is new. And then two, like you could add like your kid's contact information to your dad's Echo instead of having him do it. You could add like,
I see. So I could take it over.
Spotify.
Kind of preset it up.
Yeah, you could
which
take
I
it
think
over
is
and do
really
things for it.
good because
So just
that's
Paul,
what
just,
kids are
just
doing.
plug it in.
Yeah,
just
that's
plug it in.
that. I mean, we're all
Well-
kind of trying to do something like that, but without support from Amazon. So it's good that they build this in. I think that's great.
Question,
Yeah.
Stacey.
Yeah.
Does it transcribe into text for deaf parents?
Does it
you know?
transcribe into text?
I think the Echo did. My son was looking into. Jake was looking into this for just this reason. I'll tell you later about the hell of Spectrum.
I know about Spectrum.
God, the worst, most evil, the worst.
So
of
I
the
don't want to
worst.
get
Anyway,
sidetracked because let's
I know.
focus on this
I want.
device. We got a lot of devices to cover.
We have a text phone now where it'll transcribe us on the phone, but it'd be great to be able to see each other and have transcription. And
Google, I think, does that. I don't know if
earlier
Echo
Echoes
does
did
that.
this. Okay. I
Okay.
thought earlier
I will
Echoes
ask
did.
and find out for you later.
Please do. Thank you. I'd be very grateful.
But I think everybody who has older parents or older family members has. I set up an Echo Show for my mom, so that but it was on my account, and she reset it because she didn't want to see, and it was like, no, but Mom, now you have to set it up, and of course,
Oops.
so it and Apple did this with their watch too. They had it. Finally, you can set up an Apple Watch for somebody else, a kid or an elder perhaps, who doesn't have an iPhone, but you can set it up, and so they get the benefits of that. I think this is smart.
So, Stacey, is this a different device or is this just a
No, it's
service?
the same device. It's a monthly service. The service also has the older Care Hub stuff, which is like anytime your parent interacts with the Echo, you'll get a notice that says so-and-so played music, or
Yeah, they're
so-and-so
alive.
asked a question.
They're moving around. Yeah. What's the name of the
basically,
service?
It's either Alexa Together or Amazon Together. Hold on.
Okay, that's close enough. I think it's Alexa Together, and because I'm just
Alexa Together.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that sounds interesting. It's an elder care subscription service, basically.
So there's another
really
one.
expensive.
So GrandPad.
It's you sign up early, enjoy 6 months of service for free, limited time offer, $20. Show the screen, please. $20 billed monthly, $199 annually. So it is expensive, but I guess
Which is much less expensive than the competitor, which is GrandPad, which is a really neat device.
Oh yeah,
It's
somebody asked
dedicated
me
to
about
this.
that on the radio show.
That is how much is it here?
Oh, it's really
$58 a
expensive.
month.
Yeah.
$696.
Yeah, and this
buy a
also-
year, yeah.
Wow.
And this
Have you
also
tried
has
the
things
GrandPad?
like-
Because somebody asked me about that on the radio show.
No, somebody recommended it to my sister. I was thinking about. I'm shopping for
I think it's
just this right now.
overpriced. I think it's overpriced. So this is, yeah, you're right. $20 a month is a lot more reasonable. You obviously have to buy an Echo.
Yeah, and they can actually call out and dial either emergency services through this, or they
I'm
can
gonna
just
get this.
call you, Jeff.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I'm going to have
I
my
mean,
mom
it's-
call Jeff if there's anything wrong.
Call
Now,
Jeff
is this one
if there are
is
problems.
this already available for order? The service?
The service?
It's not yet out. It says email me when released.
And the
Yeah, I
name
think it's
again
early-
is
it's-
Alexa Together.
Alexa Together. Thank you.
This is a really good idea. It's simpler than the granddad pad or grandpad.
Grandpad.
The granddad pad.
but yeah. So simpler. If simpler means fewer ways to screw it up.
No, in fact, I would say it's more complicated to set up, but it doesn't do as many things as the grandpad does. Because the grandpad has a button. You know, if you want to call the grandkids, there's a button on. It's a tablet. There's a button on the screen. You just press it, and you could do multi-person Zoom calls by just pressing buttons and things like that. This isn't really so.
But this, you just shout at it.
Yeah. Hey, Jeff. Hey.
Although then you get the silver issue from that
There's
SNL.
also a professionally staffed 24/7 urgent response team.
Yes, that's what I was saying. So if you had an emergency, you could call someone.
It doesn't have to just be, they don't just call Jeff. They can call somebody who's actually.
What do you expect me to do?
But most old people, I shouldn't say most old people, but many, I know my mom would never call emergency services. She would want to call, actually, I could picture her just laying there not wanting to trouble someone, but she would be more likely to trouble me than the
This is phenomenal. If a loved one allows it, you can set a reminder on their phone for take your pills, mom, or managing shopping lists. This is really a good idea.
What if they're too old to do a phone? We bought one of the simple phones, Android done with big buttons, and we didn't even open the box. It's not going to work.
Well, I bet you could have the Echo also say take your pills.
You could drop in on them on the Echo, or the Echo could be like a reminder for them.
But if you can get them to carry a phone, there's fall detection response.
Oh, yeah, I'd love it if we could.
Yeah.
They're working with VIAR. That's really awesome.
What's VIAR?
VIAR is a 60 gigahertz radar company out of Israel, and I didn't even see that.
So these are fall detection devices. Sky Angel cares another one. So if a fall is detected, the Echo will ask your loved one if they need help, then connect to the urgent response line and alert emergency contacts. This is, you're going to see more and more of this stuff as we, the boomers, age. And you,
I thought you were going to say, as we incorporate more RF sensing into devices.
And that. And as you poor Gen Xers have older and older parents that you need to take care of. And the thing is, you're not necessarily near. And I noticed that's a big component of this. This is for me and my mom, who's in Rhode Island.
So it's interesting. They ask you at the end. I'm signing up for the notification now. So there's 5 reasons. Why are you interested? So this is what they're marketing. 1, customized alert notifications for daily activity. Take your pills, Mom. 2, 24/7 hands-free access for your loved one to trained agents, just discussed. 3, circle of support allows multiple family members to stay in the loop and help provide support, which you touted, which I think is important. 4, remote assist allows you to manage device settings. Yeah, Pa, hit that button. Doesn't work. And then 5, fall detection with compatible devices called urgent response.
This is nice.
Okay.
A lot of this won't be available till early next year. But I think this is good.
That's common in these.
I think that's really good.
So other things they announced is a Fitbit-looking device. It's the next generation Halo with a screen. They also announced a $60 thermostat that is interesting only because it's cheaper than any other smart thermostat out there. And Amazon's Alexa Fund was a big investor in Ecobee, and I'm like, oh, they must be pissed now. They also announced the 15-inch Echo Show. This is a big TV.
That's big.
Widgets. They did it as and then as part of that, they announced Alexa widgets, which is little sticky notes, calendar, weather. I was really excited about this as a potential to control all of your smart home devices and see all of your camera feeds, but I don't think it's powerful enough to drive all of that. So I'm kind of sad about that, but you can see a few things and control a few things.
The Echo Show 15 is only $250. That's really interesting. So it's not much more expensive than the countertop Echo Show.
It's a normal Echo Show.
But it's a big old screen you could hang on your wall.
It also comes with a stand if you don't want to hang it on your wall.
I'm tempted. We love our Echo Show. You can even do it in portrait mode.
It looks really fat. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It looks fat?
It looks kind of...
Are you saying something?
I don't think it's attractive as the hardware. The hardware does not strike me.
Are you body shaming the Amazon Echo Show?
It's a little...
I'm hardware shaming the Echo Show, yes.
Hardware shaming,
Well, given that price, I'm not surprised. I mean, you're not getting a top-of-the-line
Yeah, Kevin said it looked
Just
like
as
the
long as it
Portal from
works.
2019. So, Leo, make your call.
Yeah, it does a
As long as
little
it
bit.
works.
I mean, the price is surprisingly low. Available later this year. This is all part of their new. Is this another day one? This is $250.
This is not day one.
This
they
is
do
not,
have
okay.
the drone camera is one of their day ones, and then they also announced.
So we talked about this always home cam. I thought by now they would have given up on this. This is the camera that flies out of the base to look around your house. $250.
Scaring cats to death.
So some of the day
when
one
you
stuff
sign
is
up-
really highly experimental, right?
Yeah, when you sign up for this, it asks you things like, how tall are your ceilings? Do you have giant walls of mirrors or glass? Are there multiple floors in your house? Are your and are your ceilings sloped?
What the hell is that? It's coming for me. Oh my gosh.
Just imagine if Facebook made this.
Oh, you can carry it around? Why would you carry it around?
Why would you do that?
Oh, you're teaching at your house.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is
And that's
so
the
Terminator.
other thing. Amazon put a lot of effort into this is really important actually. AI, some of it local. So now they actually have their voice processing chip will do your utterances for on the edge, so locally on the device. So that's a big deal. 2, they announced that you can now teach things like from a computer vision perspective, from a sound perspective, and also your personal habits perspective. And this is important. Wise actually said they're going to do this as well. Google has this capability, but hasn't really focused on doing much with it because I think they were worried about privacy. So you can teach what your washing machine sounds like when the chime goes off, and then it will notify you that your wash is done, which is something people ask me for all the time. You can teach it your
It
face.
has to listen
and that's
all
actually,
the time.
It also apparently has a Seth Rogen mode where if Seth Rogen tries to break into your house, it'll come and chase him away, which I think is it's pretty cool.
I'm talking about seriously cool tech, and you're like, and there's Seth Rogen. I give up.
I think there should be something that chases Seth Rogen away from your stuff.
That's not Seth Rogen.
Oh, okay. I'm mistaken then. Then it's less interesting. So would you buy this, Stacey? Would you buy this?
The drone? So I signed up for it because I'm very curious about it.
It's your
It's
job.
not something I would actually buy if it wasn't my job.
Yeah. Yeah, this could add up. I'm now a little tempted because.
So let's talk about Astro, the robot.
All right, let's get to the.
Wait, one more question.
Yes.
Ant, would you ever buy it?
No, because of pets. And I know they tried to put all of this fail-safe.
They could
stuff in
watch your
there,
pet, though. You could check up on your pet.
Yeah, but what
have
are you going to
met
do
Biscuit?
when you see your pet?
No, but have y'all met Biscuit? That dude tries to attack anything that moves. I don't care what.
Well, you
it
definitely
is.
don't want to get Astro the robot then.
Right. So I mean, I know they try to put
At least the
fail-safe
drone
stuff in
is
here,
above the dog. It's not going to be near the dog.
but that dog will chase it. He will jump at it. I'm positive it'll eventually be a mess in my scenario.
We have a video coming up. I just put the rundown later on.
Of a dog. Oh,
Just for
you want us to show the Raven video again?
No. Okay. I debated. I almost put it in there, but I knew you would say that, so I didn't. Yeah. I have two videos that are better than the Raven video. You just wait.
I'm nervous.
All right. All right. Let's talk about Astro. The $1,000 now. This one's a little more expensive. The robot, which like a lot of, look, we had an advertiser. It was actually Bosch that was advertising a robot they never made. They gave everybody their money back. There's been a lot of companies making home robots, none of which seem to do much. And this is no different.
I was going to say, this one doesn't seem to do much of anything either. So.
Yeah, this is the Astro. Here's a motherboard article in which they talk to some developers, one of whom says, Astro is terrible. Wait a minute, I got to read you the quote.
It will throw itself down any flight of stairs it can
Exactly. Exactly. Astro is terrible and will almost certainly throw itself down a flight of stairs if presented the opportunity. The person detection is unreliable at best, making the in-home security proposition laughable. The device feels fragile for something with an absurd cost. The mast has broken on several devices, locking itself in the extended or retracted position, and there's no way to ship it to Amazon when that happens. Now, admittedly, this is a guy who did work on it. It's not currently working on it. Maybe the early prototypes weren't as good as the version they're going to sell, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
So, Stacy, tell us how did Amazon pitch Astro?
So Amazon's the big overarching theme of the presentation was ambient intelligence. They said this phrase like 15 to 20 times throughout the entire hour. It was just everybody, that was their thing. And the idea here is that your home is becoming smarter. And we're all for that, usually. The way Amazon's doing it's a little freaky. But so Astro's ambient intelligence is that it can roam around because you have all these devices and they can gather some intelligence, but they're physically stuck. So this and the drone are designed to, Amazon pitched it as something that can wander around your house and check things out for you.
It's kind of like a fire tablet on a stick, extensible stick with wheels. So it's like a
you
tablet.
have to sit on the floor to use it.
Well, no, it'll go up.
Well, okay,
too.
no. So it will roll around your house at 1 meter per second, which is really fast.
Yeah.
And it also has a periscope camera on it. So the periscope extends 42 inches. And then you can
look at the keyhole of your bedroom.
Yeah. So it's basically like, hey, did I leave the stove on? I guess you could walk around,
look out the
checking
window.
on things. It has a cup holder in the back.
It has like a cup
Amazon
holder?
Yeah, for a beer.
So if I were in the kitchen, I could send someone drinks.
And you
the
could say
theory
that
is
because it knows people. So you could say, send Andrew this
Right.
beer. Oh, there it is.
Right.
It's going to dock. Okay.
It's docking. It can only work on one floor. They did a lot of effort talking about like, hey, it's cute. It reminds me of Anki Vector, if y'all remember that robot. It's super cute. It sounds
not
very
quite as
chirpy.
good as the eyes of the Anki, but okay.
No, but it sounds a lot like the Anki. And I don't think for $1,000 there is a pressing need for a security perspective.
Nope.
I do wonder if with its quote unquote personality and some of the features, if it might become kind of like, how Aibo really made a lot of lonely people happier by being kind of personable with them.
Right.
Okay.
I do wonder if this could have that role because they also talked about it from the aging in place perspective. Like you could say, hey, go find grandpa. So if you wanted your dad to take his pills, Jeff, you could be like, go find dad. It goes and rolls
He's
up
now
to
in
him
a
and then you
one-room
say, Dad,
apartment,
take your
so-
pills.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that's, but it's
Bless
way
you.
too early. I hate that Amazon is like, hey, pay $1,000 for us.
Well,
to,
there's
like,
early
beta
adopters.
test something.
There's early
develop it.
adopters in the world who will. I mean, a lot of people.
Yeah, they
Leo,
will, but
are you
I don't
buying
know
one,
that it's
Leo?
early.
No, this reminds me so much of the Bosch robot that we did.
Jibo, was that the
Not
one?
Jibo. I think it was
Jibo.
Orb.
Oh.
No, we have a Jibo. That was static.
Oh, yeah.
The name of the Bosch robot.
I remember
Was
you
it
guys
Orbi?
having the iPad on a stick that rolled around.
That actually still exists.
Yeah. No, they've gotten better and better. I gave that to somebody because it was an outdated device because of the. What was the name of that sponsor we had? Gosh, I can't remember. Anybody remember? I can't remember off the top of my head, but we.
Mixie?
Scooter X.
Mikey? Rockster?
Okay, the fact that there are so many names tells you something. This is a product category.
Rockster is their vacuum.
Everybody's
Never
trying
mind.
to get.
Curry.
That's it. The curry.
I gotcha.
Yeah. And it was being. I
everyone
went down to
wants a
see it,
robot.
and it was being
Thank you,
developed.
mashed potato.
And the real problem was it didn't really do anything. It was
Right.
it was able to wander around, but it just didn't do anything.
And that's the same here. I mean,
Yeah.
this robot will recognize your face theoretically, although it sounds like it has problems with that. But I mean, it's not going to fold your laundry. It doesn't even vacuum your floors. It's not going to, so.
But it will turn your
Amazon
lights
talked
off,
about
right?
it. Oh, I'm so sorry, y'all. Being like a surveillance kind of
So when
robot.
Gadget says that Amazon is turning into a personal security company, if you add all this stuff up, is that
No, I mean that's
No.
Amazon is so many things. It's
Well, I
certainly
know,
going
but
into
a
that.
suite of personal security things.
Yeah,
This
well,
is
that's
just part of a suite.
Well, what was that
for the
phrase they
paranoid?
kept
Well, it
saying?
has
Stacey?
Ambient
Ambient
home,
intelligence?
ambient computing.
Yeah, that's I think more to the point than security.
Well, and I wonder, remember when the Amazon Look camera came out and they used that actually to gather so much data about like outfits and fashion?
Yeah.
And then they launched their own fashion clothing line. I kind of wonder if this is a way for Amazon to get a lot of data, casual data about what lives in people's homes. Like, I mean, and I don't think it's necessarily nefarious exactly, but I mean,
this is always going to be Amazon's
you'll
problem.
know that my child has this type of backpack.
Yeah, I
or
don't think they're doing
I
that.
have this type of appliances.
'Cause the
there's a
hazard-
lot of information.
the
this thing can
hazard
pick
for
up.
them would be so great of doing that.
Oh,
that I
hold
bet
on, I can't hear y'all.
that's what I thought. She's turned me off.
Okay, ask again.
I don't think they're doing that because if they got caught doing that, it would be such a problem. But I don't think they need to do that to get value out of this. I think partly what they're trying to do is desperately figuring out how this can be of use. They think this is going to be the next big thing, and I think Echo has shown that there is a valuable market, and they're just expanding that. That's
Well,
really
even
what they're up to.
understanding
But
like
it's
the
going to be
number
hard
of
for them.
rooms in your. Think about it. Understanding the number of rooms in your house and gathering. I mean, they can gather state from smart things because they already know. Like my lights on or
iRobot
off,
did
but
that. Remember, they got in a lot of trouble for mapping, but that's how you have to do it because you can't
Actually,
vacuum.
iRobot did not share that information with Amazon. They just shared the fact that you have a kitchen.
Right, but they shared it with
they-
themselves. So people
yeah.
people are very concerned about this, and that's going to really hamper Amazon's ability to do these kinds of products because of the privacy
Yes.
issue.
Yes and no. I think if they can offer sufficient value. So I have an iRobot that maps my house and I freaking love it. And I don't care that they know exactly what my house looks like because they do things like say, hey, this is by your kitchen counter. Do you want to set up a vacuum here because it's constantly dirty? And I'm like, thank you, yes. And they're like, hey, this looks like it's under your couch. Do you want to vacuum here more often? I mean, those are things like if Amazon can deliver you value by like having their robot roam around your home and understand like this is the lighting preference that Stacey has. Let me create an automatic routine for her. Those are going to be hugely valuable to people. And I think the question is, how do technologists and engineers communicate the value of that data to people and build trust in the consumer so they're willing to share that data? And honestly, Amazon isn't there yet. I
do
looked at
like
some
the
of this stuff
idea.
and this, yeah.
I do like the idea that you mentioned about it being a little personable for people that are lonely because, quite frankly, people are spending $1,000 for dogs to just follow them around.
Yeah,
their
but a
house.
dog's an actual living thing as opposed to an
Yeah,
Echo
but
show
they
with
don't do
wheels.
much. I mean,
And they
Kylo
require a lot
just
of
sits
effort.
over there and snores and farts, and he
That's
he
why
doesn't
you
do
love
much
them.
of anything.
I think honestly, what Amazon's doing is really interesting and powerful. Just as I thought Sidewalk was really interesting and powerful, and I think it's probably dead on arrival because people. Just imagine if Facebook did all this stuff, people would go crazy. Amazon's almost as bad in people's minds. I think. I know a lot of people. Yeah, you don't have any Echo shows or Echoes in your house, right? Because you don't want Echo
No, sir.
listening.
No, sir.
I think you're very. I think you.
All I have
represent
is the
majority.
phone because that's enough listening devices in here. It's just these phones. That's it.
So it's going to be a battle between your thesis, Stacey, which is that these are valuable enough people will overlook the privacy angle. I'm sure that's what Amazon's hoping.
Well, Amazon's getting better at privacy. So there's a couple things to note here. Amazon is doing a lot for privacy, but you also have to ask yourself, Amazon is also not a trustworthy company, even if they're protecting my individual privacy, because as a macro level, they're using data in ways that hurt people, right? So that's a really subtle distinction that people aren't necessarily making yet. And I don't know if they should. I mean, ethically, I have a lot of problems with what Amazon does. So am I not part of their smart home ecosystem because I don't want to be complicit in that? Am I complicit in it if I have a Ring doorbell? Yes. Those are hard questions, and I don't think many consumers are thinking about them.
That's the thing.
So if the value's
they offer some good stuff, but at what cost?
And it may be that
they're cheap.
The group, they are cheap. I can't believe $250 for this 15-inch display. I mean, that's kind of mind-boggling. I think their commercial success proves that people aren't as worried. The people in our circles are. Everybody I talk to, all of our fans and all of our hosts are terrified. But I think normal people probably aren't. Not all. There's one who has no moral panic.
So this week,
I just wish that thing would do more. You know, it just follows.
Well, if you had an Echo, but if you had an Echo Show, you would say that this 15-inch Echo Show screen, this replaces the family bulletin board. I mean, this is really great.
Okay.
But you won't have one of these in your house, right?
There's got to be an alternative if I just
camera.
want a family bulletin board.
It's less useful, though.
No.
See, it's more useful than the bulletin board because the camera says, oh, that's Andrew. And then you put up the Post-it note that you wrote for Andrew. Watch out for the robot. It's about to steal your shoes. You could put that up there. And I mean, I think that's really cool. They're even selling it this way. Leave each other sticky notes. Update shopping lists and to-do lists. See your shared and individual calendars. This is clearly to replace the family bulletin board, and I think with much more functionality.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
I think, and for $250, I think it's
and
pretty
you can
interesting.
talk to it to make those things happen.
Right.
Like if you had to go into the Alexa app, it would be a no go.
Yeah.
But just saying, hey, tell Andrew to, walk the dog. Or put a sticky note on.
That
to
starts
tell,
to sell.
Yeah.
That starts to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is of all of them sounds the most interesting. I think the robot, we're going to see a lot of companies kind of working on making these robots more useful. There's a physicality problem, and maybe only Boston Dynamics will be able to make a robot that can really get things, wash your dishes and stuff.
I, for one, look
for
forward to
$10,000.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Dynamics in my house, yes.
But Astro is all part of the evolution of this over time, and to get people comfortable. That's what Bosch was saying about Curry. The whole idea was to get people comfortable. In fact, in the ad copy, we would say things like, this is your child's first experience of something that they're going to grow up with, which is home robots. So give them a good experience,
Right.
The one thing I will say is the Toyota robots. I mean, so Astro is way cuter compared to Toyota's robots for the home, which do wash your dishes, but they hang from a gantry on your ceiling, and they're just like these giant arms reaching down. I mean, that's terrifying.
No, I don't want that.
Yeah, that's not scary at all.
So compare this. This is, and by the way, Bosch had a company called Mayfield Robotics. They were the advertiser. So compare this to this is 4 or 5 years ago, what Amazon was doing with Astro. This is very similar, if you ask me. Down to the eyes. Remember this? We did ads for it. Yeah. And it didn't. And I kept saying, well, what does it do? Nothing. It will play music for you. It'll walk around. I think it's almost identical idea. In fact, this one's
audio of Astro.
No, should I get some audio?
The video?
Yeah, there probably
if
is.
You have audio of it. You should hear it. It's very Anker Vector like.
Okay, what's Anker Vector?
Anki Vector.
Oh, the Anki Vector. Anki, those Ankies were really cute. Yeah.
Yeah. So
let me play because I've been leaving the audio off. Let's do the ad with the audio, if you will, John.
Astro.
This is Anton Queen.
Follow me.
After he's been brainwashed into getting one at work.
I like the E.T. music. I mean, this is very intentionally Spielbergish music.
I miss you too.
I like the sound, yeah. Okay, the sound helps. You're right. till I heard the sound. But you don't want grandma on the floor following you around. That's too weird.
I mean, grandma might like that. I don't think that's weird at all.
I thought that the screen would go up in the air, but the camera only. The camera goes up in the air. The screen's always at your ankle level.
The screen would be hard.
Yeah, no, I
mean,
agree.
that's an expensive proposition.
The defeated dog.
This is right. You've replaced me, and I have to say this is very much like Curry. Curry made cute sounds. Curry talked to you
after having given up.
This is maybe a little bit closer.
So imagine this plus a together,
right?
And you can see where they're going with something like this.
And of course, the first thing I asked him is Curry going to throw itself down the stairs? And they said, no. It has edge detection. It's not going to, it doesn't, Actually, these things have a little bit more difficulty getting over like bumps in the floor, like door jams and things like that. But I think this has got pretty big wheels. It probably could get around. I don't know.
It has 2 big wheels and 1 tiny wheel.
Yeah.
And it goes really fast.
Yeah, a meter a second is extremely fast. So it does make these sounds, which are interesting.
So then now what do you do? All right, so there's a raccoon in your house.
That's always...
Oh, you got an alarm.
No, it runs
Curry
and hides
needs his
under
little
the bed.
spritzer to get my dog off the couch.
And this is how you win over the significant other. Bring him a beer.
Oh, okay.
What?
They also have a deal with Furby, which is the pet company. And they Furby will dispense treats into the Astro and then deliver it to your dog.
Wait a minute, say that again?
They have a deal with Furby, the pet camera and treat dispenser. Furby will distribute treats to your dog or to the Astro, and Astro can bring it to your dog.
So it bribes the dog.
Basically, yes.
Oh, my God. This is scary. When I searched for Furby Astro demo, I got demonic Furby Astro demon. So I think that's something else.
About your searching.
Those are the Furbies I remember.
That's a different.
Those are the
Hold
Furbies
on.
I remember.
That's a different kind of Furby.
Hold on. I may have the Furbo pet camera. Sorry, y'all.
You can't Google it if you don't have the name right. Furbo Astro.
Thank you, Scooter.
Okay. Furbo dog camera. It can slot into the back of Astro. It can hold the Furbo dog camera.
Oh, wow. So it can follow your dog around.
Look, there is the meeting of minds. As Shakespeare would have said, the beast with 2 backs. And
the Furbo shoots treats out.
A Furbo treat shooting device on the back. Now we know why they got a cup holder. Holy cow.
They actually sell those little containers in the back are what are they called? There's multiple types. Cup holders, a container. There's one with a blood pressure cuff. So there's lots of options.
If I were a TikTok celebrity, I would immediately buy this, the 2 of them together, and do a series of videos of shooting dog treats as I drive around town. I
will say my dog is really mad at me right now.
Oh, why?
Because I've said the T word several times, and she is like, what the heck?
She's like waiting.
What's the T word? Treat?
Treat.
Yes.
Oh.
That's the hey G to an animal.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Treat. Lisa has discovered that if you shake the treat bag, the cats come running. So she's finally got a way to herd cats.
That too.
It's pretty good. All right, we got
Cats, plural?
We have 2, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, while you're on this, why don't we just because it's relevant, maybe go look at line 42.
Line 42.
Bingo!
The pet cat caught on Nest Cam videos of pets we love to see.
And it's from Google.
It's from Google, so it's okay to play this. What will they do when we're away? The dog climbed the tree. Oh no!
Oh no!
Pig coming in the house. Peacocks, raccoons, kitties.
There's a raccoon.
Dog eating a bundt cake. Cat pulling on furniture. Keep your eye on your pets with Nest Cam. That's good. That's good advertising.
Yeah.
Aw.
And then back from the break, we can look at the frightening version of it. Which
Okay,
is
we will. Is there anything else from the Amazon event we want to?
They did a deal with Disney. If you care about Disney, now will have a service called Hey Disney that is built on Alexa as the back end. So Amazon has turned Alexa into a service, as we always knew she would, or it would.
I have to say, I don't know why Google hasn't done this with their Nest stuff, but I have so many voices now. I have multiple personalities on my Echoes. I've got Samuel L. Jackson, Melissa McCarthy, Issa Rae. I got everybody not Issa Rae, but I got everybody coming out of there, and it's fun.
Google has different voices.
Yeah.
They have like Cyan and Peach.
Did they do, who did John Legend? Was that Google or was that Amazon? Amazon seems to really get the idea of putting in celebrity voices. And I love it because in the morning I'll ask, sometimes if I'm in a rough mood, I'll ask Samuel L. Jackson for the weather and he swears at me. Or I'll ask Melissa McCarthy for the weather and she does unicorns and rainbows. It's pretty funny. And Ziggy, the new voice Ziggy. Anyway, anything else? So that's a lot. That's a lot. It's good stuff. I'm interested. I just wonder if
podcast tomorrow covers all this. And I have Ann Toth, who is the director of Alexa Trust, talking about how they view privacy.
So there you go. Right. That's what they're going to have to be very aggressive about. Yeah. That's the IoT podcast. You can hear it on your favorite podcast client or go to StacyOnIoT.com. No, not at all. I'm glad to promote it. So Kevin and Stacy will talk to the woman in charge of Amazon Trust. Wow. That's really
she wasn't super forthcoming about lots of things, but you can see where they're going.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Well, I think the challenge is how do you convince people that all these Amazon cameras are not phoning home with stuff, about my sex life or whatever.
Talk about that.
Yeah. Let's take a little time out, and when we come back, the evil side of the camera. All right, Jeff, explain this. Explain this to me. This is an alligator?
Well, this is not evil. It's just scary.
Okay, this is Florida man.
You want to watch this all the way through.
Okay, guys trying to
this is
trap
awesome.
An alligator in his garbage
recycling bin.
Are you not hearing the audio? There it is.
Look what he's wearing his feet.
He's wearing. He's like Mark Zuckerberg. He's wearing his shower slippers. No, you need steel-toed shoes when dealing with an alligator. I love it that the whole neighborhood is kibitzing. Anyway. No, dude, man, no, don't do that, dude. Oh man, you got him. Tilt it up. Look at that tail go. Oh, you don't think an alligator could jump out of a recycling bin? Now sit on it, bud. Sit on it, bro. Everybody's cheering.
Sitting is the last thing I do on that.
This is a actual problem in Florida.
Someone did come in the comments and say you should never do this, and it may hurt the alligator. And there's alligator capture services.
They'll come. There's a nice lady who will come with a little lasso, and she'll come and she'll snag him.
This makes quite the moment on social media.
I love the kibitzing. It's got the whole neighborhood. Yeah, this is not nice to the alligator.
No, it's
the
not
office
nice.
I used to have to visit.
It seems like you're asking for trouble because if the alligator, oh man,
this could have gone very different.
This could have gone bad. Yeah. Look at the tail.
I mean, look how much he's fighting to get that up.
Yeah, it's heavy. And now what do you do?
White animal.
Now what?
You recycle it.
Call animal control, or you just put it on the curb. You put it on the curb and let the garbage man handle it. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, jeez. All right, as long as we're playing tweets, it's almost as bad as playing TikTok. Here is a seeing eye robot. This looks like it's a Boston Dynamics, but it's not. It's a hybrid robotics. Let's turn the sound on this. Researchers at UC Berkeley's hybrid robotics group. The guy has a blindfold on. This is a quadrupedal robot that works like a guide dog. Oh, that's
All right.
really interesting.
All right.
It's like a Roomba with legs. All right, we didn't.
Someone
Or an
pointed out
Astro
this video
with
is
legs.
not accessible to the blind, which is
Yeah.
not great. But
Yeah. All right. Let us move on to more weighty matters.
What did Google do?
What did Google do? What would
what
Google
would they do?
Google plans to overturn the EU's $5 billion antitrust decision on Android. It could get worse. You know, if
Saying basically, hey, what about Apple?
yeah. That could go up. So it's risky. While the appeal is underway, Google has had to comply with the decision, offering all users of new Android phones in the EU a choice screen of alternative search engines. That's not a good experience for anybody. But so far, Google's market share for search on mobile has remained stable.
Have you guys noticed an uptick in approve the cookies clicks lately? The last few weeks, I've gotten more than ever. It's just constant.
I've gotten used to it because it started 2 years ago. So
I know, but I think it's gotten worse, Ant. Oh, thank you, EU.
You go in and you tell it to decline all and all of that good stuff. It's annoying.
Oh, I just accept them all. Screw it.
There is a plugin I use, and unfortunately, it only works on Macs and on Safaris. Actually, it only works on Safari, on iPad, iPhone, or a Mac, called Hush. The entire intent of it is to block the cookie thing and the thing that pops up on Stacy's website that says subscribe to my newsletter.
No Stacy from the ceiling?
No Stacy from
I'm
the
so
ceiling.
sorry. It works.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I don't care. So does Hush. So
I have no problems with that. I get it. Although I will say, I don't use your data for anything other than to send you a newsletter.
The only problem I have with it is I subscribed to your newsletter, so I don't.
I know, and it's so annoying.
There's no way to connect the two. I understand. So you're going to get it even if you've already subscribed.
Yeah, not without being super intrusive on your data.
Right, because then they'd have to know it was me, and they'd say, "Oh, there you are again." Yeah, okay. We won't show you that.
See, she's honest.
Which, by the way, I just want to point out is how those cookie tracker things work too. If you say, I don't want any cookies, what do? They set a cookie to tell the site not to set cookies. So that seems like a bad idea, but okay. Activision also, this is going to be the court action section. Activision will pay an $18 million settlement. We talked a lot about this Activision Blizzard issue and what a boys club it was and what a mess it was, especially in the World of Warcraft division. Well, I think this counts as a slap on the wrist. They made an agreement with the feds and paid us Actually, no, it's not with the feds. I'm sorry. It was with a federal employment agency that filed a civil rights complaint. I guess it is the feds. They're going to pay $18 million settlement. That money will be used to compensate and make amends to eligible claimants, with the remaining funds go to charities that advance women in the video game industry or promote awareness around harassment and gender equality issues. You know what? I guess the main point of this lawsuit would be to get them to change their ways. And as long as it works that way, I guess it doesn't matter what the settlement is. It was really bad there. There are other lawsuits pending. The Communications Workers of America filed a complaint this month with NLRB, accusing Activision of violating federal labor law. The SEC is also exchanging, so they're not out of the woods. But part one of the problem is over. I like this DeepMind, artificial intelligence called DeepMind. You'd like this too, Stacy, because it uses something like GAN. It's not exactly GAN. You can explain what it is. It's a deep generative network, an AI that's trained to generate new samples of data that are very similar to the real data it's trained on. It is now predicting one of the hardest problems in meteorology. Is it going to rain in the next hour and a half?
Well, in Seattle, the answer is yes.
Yes.
Well, it's no surprise this research is being done in the UK, where they have a similar problem. Working with the UK's National Weather Service, the Met Office, DeepMind has developed a tool called DGMR that can accurately predict the likelihood of rain in the next 90 minutes.
That's awesome.
Dark Sky does a pretty darn good job of that.
I love that dark sky thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but all the Google lovers no longer have access to it.
I use it on the web. That's all. I just go to the website.
Apple bought them
phone,
and
too.
shut down the app even on iOS.
Oh, the website. I never thought to do that.
Yeah, I just do that. Yeah, it's fun.
We're like, what? The web?
The
Not
website.
on the
Yeah.
app?
What ad?
Yes, I used to like that app.
Yeah.
So they're keeping the website alive. Oh, that's good to know.
Shh, don't tell Apple.
But you won't get the notifications that it's about to rain on the website, will you? Maybe you will.
You can look up in the sky, and you go to this to say, gee, I wonder how far away.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't
Thank
even
you.
need a generative adversarial network to do that.
I don't need no artificial intelligence. I got real intelligence. I got eyes.
That's a good point.
Put my hand out. Oh no, yeah, no. Oh yeah, it's raining.
They've been working on this for several years, Jeff. Do you feel guilty? Input from the Met Office's experts shaped the project.
I just dismissed it.
Years of labor
Now impress
down
me.
the tubes. Oh, wait, you could just look at the sky? Oh. Our friend Mike Masnick writing on Tech Dirt about something called the Shop Safe Act. Jerry Nadler.
Such a good Masnick analysis.
He was a little
It
fine,
sounds
right?
so good, but
Yeah. Jerry Nadler, who's he says, a close friend of the always anti-internet lobbying force that is the legacy copyright industry, has proposed something called the Shop
Murdoch.
Safe Act, which sounds like a good idea to keep counterfeit goods out of online stores. But apparently, it has side effects that could put these online stores like eBay out of business forever.
because basically, all it does is it supports the owners of trademarks, and it's the thing equivalent of having to put up detectors for copyright.
EFF says one measure platforms would have to take under the Shop Safe Act is verifying the identity, address, and contact information of any third-party seller who uses their services. So you might have to provide a driver's license to Craigslist to advertise your garage sale or sell a used bike. I don't think that seems too much. But it would also apply to Facebook and, of course, even email services if you sell something using your email. And this is another one, and this is happening in Australia now, where the liability ends up not with the seller, but with the internet platform.
See what happens.
Yeah. So in Australia, the platforms are now responsible for comments, in forums or on websites.
Attached. Well, no. It's not the platform. The publisher is responsible for the comments left on someone else's platform under your article.
So if you post
whether
a news
or not
article
you placed it there,
right.
whether or not you placed it there.
So if you have a news article on Facebook and somebody comments on it, you're liable for that comment.
Wants to attack, I don't know, me on on Twit. Why did you have that jerk on Sunday? And they put it up there. Then you put it on YouTube. Then YouTube not only YouTube is liable, but Twit is liable.
So CNN's response is, we're going to restrict access to Facebook pages in Australia.
Once again, Australia without news. This is the second time that this kind of regulatory reflex has led to taking away news from Australian consumers.
If you're Australian, you will not be able to access CNN's Facebook pages. The company said it wants to avoid liability for user comments following this Australian court ruling. Yeah.
Gee, who does that benefit in the end? Who's Australian?
Rupert. Facebook says, well, no, it's okay. We continue to provide Australians a destination for quality journalism through Facebook News.
And it benefits Facebook, right?
I saw
If you go
tweeted
to
a
line
little bit about
56 for a
news.
moment.
All right, 56. In Australia, writes Jeff Jarvis, who's the monopoly.
How'd you know it was me?
I'm starting to get a feel for it. This is from Media Week. Nielsen releases data from latest Nielsen Digital Landscape report. Tell me what this says.
So just go to that chart there. The top 10 digital parent, which is unique audience people. News Corp is basically as big as Facebook and Google, according to Nielsen in Australia.
Unique audience.
Monopoly.
This is in millions. So 18 million to Google, 17.6 to Facebook, 17.2 to News Corp, 16.7 to Microsoft, who you don't really think of as a news source.
Well, this is not news. This is
Everything?
yeah.
Just unique audience. Australian federal government.
Have you ever heard of digital parent before?
No. That's a term I'm not familiar with, but
Digital
It's
what?
total online audience.
this is
Digital
what Nielsen calls whatever this is. What's
So what you
weird
say-
is companies like Woolworths and eBay and Amazon and Australian Broadcasting Company all in the same kind of.
Well, Woolworths is a huge brand there.
Okay, so it's just traffic, in other words.
It's like Walmart. Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
traffic.
just traffic.
So all I'm trying to say is, so Google and Facebook are monopolies.
Right. Right.
So that's all.
Did
Now
you?
that I've gotten the alligator in, my job here is done.
Thank you. The
No
king,
Raven.
Just
forgot
like we
the
can go
Raven.
home now.
king of the
got the
weird
alligator.
twit
poll.
video. Yeah.
There was a poll you talked about on Twitter, Mr. Jarvis. I can't find it because you tweet
It's
more
in here.
than I do, apparently.
It's in here under other, I'll bet. Yes, it is.
I thought it would've been a
Line
nice
151. I'm just doing that to
Line 151, news consumption across social media in 2021.
So
Thanks
I
to
hate
Pew.
this question.
That's
where
the
do you
one,
get your
yeah.
news? And if anybody says, I got it in Facebook, then, oh my God, people get the news from Facebook. But it doesn't go to the next layer here to say, number one, well, then what? Did you click on that and go to a news site, which will make us happy? How many places do you go for news? What do you define as news? So it never goes to that next layer to make this actually useful.
Yeah, because usually when you get news on Facebook, it's not Facebook giving you the news. It's a link
No.
to an outside news source
Exactly.
in Facebook.
Which is why news sources get so much traffic from Facebook.
It's like saying,
that
I
may
go
be a
to
good
Google
thing.
to get my news. Yeah, because you Google the New York Times and then go there.
Right.
Right.
All right. That's why
that was it.
I did not bring this Pew research up on Twit either, because it's like, yeah, I agree. It's dopey. It's dopey.
Yes.
Dopey,
Constant
dopey. Constant dopey.
Constant.
All right, let's see. Do the drums. What do you say? And we'll do the Google change log.
Yeah, this man wants to go to his concert.
I do.
I don't blame him. It's going to be a great concert.
Yes. I'm gonna go see Alanis as soon as this is over. Google
Just
Maps.
How good is this change log?
It's not great, but it's okay. It'll be all right. It'll be.
You never find the change log great.
It's great because it's over soon. Google Maps is
that-
getting better at mapping wildfires. How about
Just
that?
for you.
On Wednesday, Google said it's adding a new wildfire layer to Google Maps.
That's good.
This is not going to help you in New Jersey or on
helps you
Bainbridge Island,
it
but
helps
here in
you.
Northern California, we'll be glad to
Yeah.
know. The new layer
Also,
will show.
Hold on now. Hold on. That will help in Carolina because there's a certain Pruitt that wants to know if her son is doing okay.
It's burning.
and if she's able to pull this up.
I told you you'd burn in hell.
California.
The new layer.
Were you in the same room when we had that conversation?
The new layer will show most major fires that caused significant evacuations. Well, there was just a major fire that caused 900 people to be evacuated across the street.
That's why I say this is significant, because
us.
when that happened last week,
Yeah.
I made sure I sent out a text as quick as I could because I knew the news would just talk about California is on fire and, and blah, 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 blah. And I said, okay, we are okay.
So let 'em
yes,
know
this
we're
happened
not-
in Petaluma.
Yeah.
Everything's good to go.
Yeah. It's like that when you see the news. It seems like, after I learned this during the San Francisco quake in the 90s. It looked like the whole city had fallen into a hole, but it didn't. It hadn't.
Right.
It was just, so good. And Google's going to expand this to Australia, which, of course, had terrible wildfires a couple of years ago. So interesting. This goes along with adding air quality index readings to the Nest Hub, which I really, after you pointed that out, Stacey, I just have been loving that. That's something I really appreciate.
Quite useful.
Oh, yeah.
New Google Illustrations tool lets you build a custom profile picture for Gmail. You can actually draw your own.
Okay.
Yay.
Something I'll never do, but, good. What about a picture of yourself? Yeah, there's a thought.
You know what?
What?
I bet kids love that.
Yeah.
Google Classroom.
They have time on their hands.
Yeah.
They have,
Yeah, that's
personalities.
true. Yeah. All of that is lost as you age. Live translated captions in Google Meets. This is a beta right now, but eventually this will go to all Google Meets.
English conversation to other languages.
English to Spanish, French,
Only.
Portuguese, and German. Unfortunately, you have to have a paid version of meetings or the teaching and learning upgrade to use this. But still, I think that's really
very
really cool. Yeah.
So far, this changelog is a lot better than last week. So.
Did you put this
2 out of
together,
3.
Ant? Come on now.
No,
tell the
I did
truth.
not. No, I did not. I will not take the thunder of Mr. Jason Howell.
Jason does a good job on this, actually. There was a Search On conference today. Google had its Search On event, and among the things they talked about was a redesign of the search results page. More images, more suggested searches, more things to know. You'll start to notice this. Let's see. Is it going to happen right away? The redesign? I'm not sure. Doesn't say here, but look for that. And when watching a video found via Google Search, you'll be offered topics and search phrases to learn more. They call this Google MUM, Multitask Unified Model, a technology to better understand and map the world's data as well as better share it with you through search. Oh, it launches today. So next time you go search for something on Google, you'll notice some new things. That's the Search On conference. Coming up, the Android Dev Summit next month, and a Chrome event in November. The 2021 Android Dev Summit, it skipped last year, will take place October 27th and 28th. So maybe we should consider covering this. I'm sure, probably Jason, you'll want to do this with All About Android. A 50-minute technical keynote called The Android Show, followed by 2 days of over 30 tech talks. We should probably cover that Android show.
Do we know when they're going to announce the 6 formally?
The rumor is what, the 19th?
I thought it was the 14th.
Is it the 14th? I can't remember.
Is there a new rumor?
I can't remember.
Is there
Ask
any?
Google,
Okay, I got to
they'll tell
ask
you.
this. I know this is outside the changelog, but it's a change I want. Rumors. I know you don't normally put in rumors because they're meaningless. But do you think there's a chance of a new Pixel book? Do you think that
No.
something?
Nope. Nope.
No.
Perish the thought.
Jeff, it's not going to happen.
He's living in hope, isn't he?
Man,
Just
what does that
deflated
mean?
me. You just
I need the
hit
Mean
it
Girls
hard.
meme.
Oh,
Stop trying to make the Pixel book happen, Jeff. It's not going to happen.
Oh, you're so mean.
She's a mean girl.
Oh,
Meanwhile, Chrome Dev Summit 2021 takes place Wednesday, November 3rd. You know, it's interesting. Yeah, they're putting these off till after the Pixel 6, right? That makes sense. The Android Dev Summit, the 27th. Chrome Dev Summit, November 3rd. There'll be a keynote and AMA. A public live stream starts at 9 a.m. Pacific. I think we might have to do that one. That sounds good. I was mentioning Issa Rae. She was, of course, part of Google's Voices. She's going away. I love Issa on my Google Assistant. She was introduced October 2019. I guess they got a 2-year deal because that's going away. John Legend disappeared, right, in March.
You are I've always wondered who the customer is for all these voices.
Me.
And now it's you.
Me. I get so tired of the Siri voice of the, of the Google voice, of the Amazon voice. I just want something new.
You know what peeves me?
How long are the conversations you're having?
Right.
They just you say, hey, who talk like Issa Rae or talk like Issa, and then you can ask her things and stuff. It's like, I don't know. I guess I'm
peeved that the airport voice is the Southern lady. I'm sure she's very nice, but I want a New Jersey accent in New Jersey.
Hold on. Yes, do not disparage the airport.
I'm not
voice.
disparaging the South.
Miss Karen Hutton.
Is that Karen Hutton?
Oh.
Miss Karen
She's
Hutton,
not from the South.
Photographer.
She's from Sausalito.
She's from over here.
What? Well,
she's an amazing photographer
like
and an amazing voiceover artist that I
all right.
Miss Karen Hutton.
Wait a minute.
So you watch
I said she's very nice. I'm sure she's very nice. I just want an accent like the place where I am. You got a problem with that?
You.
The voice of the airport that tells us to watch your bags or don't park in a loading zone. We know what she sounds like. Well, tonight, Lee Cowan introduces us to the woman
This is
behind
from
the voice.
CBS.
Welcome to New York Kennedy International Airport.
Is that the voice you're talking about, Jeff? That doesn't sound Southern.
Oh, yes, it does.
Really?
Wow.
We get the dude for Axel Springer from Guns N' Roses. Is that his name?
Yeah. No, Axel Springer is Axel Rose. Axel Springer is the German publishing
Murdoch.
company. Yeah.
Right. No, it's not either of those. Who is it? The Seattle airport voice is somebody from Guns N' Roses.
Oh, that would be Axl Rose.
Axl Rose.
Wait a minute. That
I don't
can't
think it's
be.
actually Axl Rose.
Slash?
No. Hold on.
Wait a minute. Does it sound kind of gruff and drunk?
Duff McKagan.
Oh. Quincy
Attack
Jones. It
voiceovers.
used to be Quincy Jones. So that's interesting. Huh. They must like celebrity voices. It's like that in Las Vegas. Hi, this is Siegfried. And this is Roy. Watch your bags. How? Things like that.
Or is it Leo Laporte
Doing
being hired
Siegfried
to do
and
it?
Roy. Yeah, I could do it. Now that's gone. I'm still in the midst of the changelog.
Sorry for derailing us, but I had to take up for this.
Sorry.
That's good. Want to give
That was
Karen
my
her
fault. It was my
due.
fault.
It was Jeff's fault.
As are most things.
Well, there's only one more. Chrome 94 rolling out as the first new release in the new 4-week update cycle. Every 4 weeks there'll be a new Chrome. Although
Remember we used to get excited about Chrome 8
the
or
new
9?
Chrome is here. 94.
94. Almost as many podcasts as we've made.
I got to point out, and Steve Gibson talked about this yesterday on Security Now, Google has now had not one, not two, but 12 0 days this year in Chrome. So those updates may be a little bit faster cadence.
Jeez.
How many have Microsoft had? Let's be real.
Let's be real. Yeah. And that is the Google changelog. Well, they suspected it. Now computers have proved it. Artificial intelligence has deemed that this painting of Samson and Delilah in the London National Gallery, reputedly painted by Peter Paul Rubens, was not.
And by Peter, Paul, and Mary instead?
Peter, Paul, and Mary. No, I think
It's not a Rubens.
not a Rubens. The results are quite astonishing, said the scientist who carried out the study. The algorithm has returned a 91% probability for the artwork not being authentic. They compared the painting to 148 uncontested, proven Rubens paintings, and it just basically said, no, that's not even. That's not even. I was so shocked, said Dr. Karina Popovici. We repeated the experiments to be really sure that we were not making a mistake. The result was always the same. Every patch, every single square came out as fake, with more than a 90% probability.
This is good, I guess, but the downside of it is AI doesn't really tell you why. At least this one didn't.
No, exactly.
It just says yes or no.
Right.
But give me a why if it's a no.
It's interesting because it's always been
yes.
And that welcome to the future of the world.
Yeah, we won't know why.
That's what's going to happen. Exactly. And David Weinberger wrote a wonderful book about this. we lose explanation. AI will predict something, and it will do a good job of predicting it, but it has no explanation.
Apparently,
you can't dig in.
Painted by Paul Rubens, who you might remember as Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
So definitely a fake.
Well, fake or just somebody else and they didn't know who is it?
Bad copy.
It's attributed it.
It's
what is a bad copy?
Bad copy.
Ooh, wow. How much did it sell for?
2.5
of an existing
million
painting,
pounds.
or
let me read that part. Critics have long argued it's only a copy of a Rubens original that is known to have been painted between 1608 and 1609 for his Antwerp patron, but then disappeared after his death in 1640. They argued that the National Gallery picture is different, one that only surfaced in 1929, declared a Rubens by an art expert who, after his death in 1960, was found to have misattributed paintings by giving out certificates of authenticity for commercial gain.
Uh-oh.
Critics dismissed the colors as uncharacteristic of Rubens' palette. The composition is awkward. It differs from two contemporary copies of the original.
Okay.
So there was an original, but it's been lost forever. And this was it sounds like a late copy, like a copy from the last century.
Oops.
Oopsies. It was at the time when it was bought in 1980 a record price for a painting, £2.5 million. Of course, that price has been eclipsed dramatically.
That's adorable.
If it had just been an NFT, everything would be okay.
I agree. That's not
so
a problem we have with NFTs.
So true.
We know who made them. IBM is trying once again to sail a boat across the Atlantic with no humans aboard, an autonomous boat. You can't do remote control that far across the Atlantic, so the boat has to do it all by itself. Its first attempt to recreate the Mayflower's voyage failed last year, and so they've been working on it. Apparently, rough seas hurt it a little bit more than they expected it to. So now this is this 49-foot triple-hulled vessel, which uses a combination of wind turbines, diesel, and solar power to travel across water with no human intervention. Of course, one of the reasons you want to do this is you could put research vessels out there that could sail around and gather information at a lower cost. The researchers say the setback taught them one thing: they should have tested it more. So next spring, it will try once again. Just something to pay attention to. Later, this is cool. They're going to turn on cameras and data feeds so that you can go online and see what it's doing as it cruises the UK coast through the winter. I don't know if it'll be able to do that all the way across the Atlantic, but that's kind of cool. Here is something I am celebrating. You know, November 7th, John? I think that's what we said. The clocks, no, it's going to be, is that right? The clocks, November 7th, Sunday morning, 2 a.m., the clocks will fall back. We will lose an hour of sleep at great cost to our mental health and our well-being.
Wait, if they go back, don't we gain an hour? This always confuses me. I just get so confused.
Fall back, spring forward. So we're going to fall
we
back.
gain an hour. You're right.
You gain an hour.
Fall is the nice time.
Still screws everybody up. Samoa has taken the lead in all of this. Where the nation's day begins, they're abandoning daylight savings time.
The world's day begins.
All right.
No S in saving.
That's correct. I learned that from Veep.
It's aving. Aving time. Daylight aving time. They will not set their clocks forward. See, I guess they're in flip-flop of us, so that we are going to standard time, but they would be going to daylight saving time. But but they're going to remain on standard time. We must be punchy if we're laughing at that. That's something wrong.
No. Have you seen Jonah's kid? I mean, yeah, okay.
Have you seen Mr. Goxx the hamster?
No.
Oh, the crypto?
Wait, Mount Goxx?
No.
Crypto
named
hamster?
after Mount Goxx. It's a crypto trading hamster who has, in fact, beaten beaten the NASDAQ. It's very good. The minds behind the furry financier, according to the BBC, are two men in their 30s from Germany. We felt that everything keeps getting more expensive these days, and building savings is super hard to achieve with high rents to pay. It seems like most people from our generation see no other chance than throwing away a lot of their savings on the crypto market without having a clue. So we had a hamster. What's great is if you look at the hamster's cage, there's a picture of Mr. Goxx. He can enter and leave the office whenever he wants. The Goxx box, which is the office, features a stairs, a decision tunnel. If he goes in there, it's sell. A decision tunnel. If he goes in there, it's buy. An intention wheel, which he can spin around. There's, of course, cameras watching so that they can monitor what he does. And then based on the activities Mr. Goxx undertakes in his office, which he can leave at any time. The office is fully automated. Software scripting, microcontrollers, single board computers, computer-aided design, 3D printing, laser cutting, and more. And he was even tweeting. He was even tweeting.
The hamster.
Well, you could follow his. Mr. Goxx has concluded his office hours tonight with one order placed, 63.27 euros on career performance. Oh, that's his overall performance. 19%. Less than a year.
Nice.
Mr. Goxx.
It's like the monkeys writing Shakespeare or writing Hamlet.
Exactly. Apparently, Mr. Goxx has NFTs for sale as well.
Of course.
Of course he does.
Because who wouldn't?
Yeah.
What is the lifespan of a hamster?
You want to see Mr. Goxx?
About as long as crypto.
In the box. Here's Mr. Goxx.
In this video,
box.
I will
Mr.
walk
Goxx
you around
in the
some
box?
details of the Goxx box build.
Let's
start off
The Goxx box build, ladies and gentlemen.
They should have a German accent.
Yeah, no, it's a robot. That's not even a real human speaking. Anyway, yeah. There's a lot to the Goxx box.
That is impressive.
But he's doing quite 19%.
That's big.
That's very good. Yeah,
I don't know if we can top that.
Even Warren Buffett can't top that. China has cracked down. We talked about this on Sunday on Twitter on all cryptocurrency-related activities. It is now illegal to buy, sell, trade cryptocurrency.
And there was a bit of a ripple.
They're down
when that happened too.
Yes.
China doesn't like the internet now. Suddenly,
this is my favorite story, and then we're going to go to our picks of the week. A teenager on TikTok. I like stories that begin with a teenager on TikTok. Has confounded social scientists and researchers. These social scientists used a site called Prolific to do surveys. For instance, the behavioral lab at Stanford mainly uses the Prolific platform for online studies.
Where do you get your news?
This is from The Voyage.
No, I'm saying.
Oh, is this like that?
Surveys.
Well, these socials, So scientists doing this sort of research in the U.S., says The Verge, generally want a pool of subjects who speak English, are not too practiced at taking psychological surveys, and make up a reasonably representative demographic sample of the American population. All of a sudden, and this is a tweet from one of the researchers at Stanford, analyzing her 300-person Prolific study. Very generic title and description, survey questions mostly about social comparisons and money. All of a sudden, 91% of the respondents were female, 7% were male. How does this happen? Then a member of the Stanford Behavioral Lab posted, "We've noticed a huge leap in the number of participants in the platform in the U.S. pool from 40 to 80,000, which is great. However, now a lot of our studies have a gender skew, maybe 85% women, plus the age averaging 21. Wayne State psychologist Hannah Schechter said, "Wait a minute, this might be far-fetched. But have you seen this TikTok video?"
Welcome to Side Hustles I Recommend Trying, Part 1. This series is going to be all about things that you can do relatively easily to make a little extra money, or a lot, depending on how much you do it. I'm going to try my best to do things that you probably haven't already heard of, like the basic DoorDash, Depop, all of that, but I might have to throw in a couple basic ones if I think that they're really genuinely a good way to make money. This first one, though, I have been doing for a while, and it makes me about $15 a day, which is pretty good, and it definitely adds up. The site is called Prolific, and it's spelled like that, and basically it's a bunch of surveys for different amounts of money and different amounts of time that earns you money. So today I made $14.60, and that's in pounds, but it converts to $20 US.
So this video by Sarah and Dom, Sarah's Side Hustles, apparently has been seen on TikTok by millions. And all of a sudden, young women are flocking to the site. According to Bradley, 4,600 studies were disrupted by this TikTok, about a third of them on the platform.
And they got to foot the bill, huh?
Well,
$20.
They do point out young women who enjoy TikTok are people too.
Yep.
Frank says,
wrong.
Sarah, her real name is Sarah Frank. She says her side hustle video is the most popular TikTok she's ever posted. It didn't occur to me it would blow up. It just posted it for my friends and followers. She's paused her own side hustles as she settles into her freshman year at Brown University. I think she has a very promising career ahead of her.
Brown.
The power of TikTok. Yeah, Brown's hard to get into. She's good. She's good. She was a Florida high school graduate, posted it on July 23rd, and it completely screwed up prolific.co. Whoops. The social media at it again. Speaking of TikTok, Satya Nadella was talking to Kara Swisher at the Code Conference. She asked him about, I'm glad she did. I think our good journalists would probably not have brought this up, but she asked him about the weird Microsoft attempt to buy TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, Nadella said, it was the strangest thing I've ever sort of worked on. He said, I was kind of intrigued by it, but I guess the rest is history. TikTok came to him, not the other way around. First of all, you've got to remember, TikTok came to us. We didn't go to TikTok. TikTok was caught in between a lot of issues they were having across two capitals, and they wanted a partner, obviously Washington, D.C. I'm not sure what the other one is. Maybe Beijing. TikTok wanted a security-focused cloud computing provider, he added. But I was pretty intrigued, and let's say it's a great property, obviously. Nadella continued, Microsoft was effectively turned off of any potential deal by the particular perspective of the Trump administration. President Trump, I think he had sort of a particular point of view on what he was trying to get done there, Nadella said, then just dropped off. It was interesting. There was a period of time I felt that the U.S. government had some particular set of requirements, and then they just disappeared. So now we know, and I think we suspected this. TikTok, by the way, has now 1 billion users, 1 billion active users.
This is amazing, right?
Yeah. This is according to the company itself, monthly active users, and its growth has happened in 5 years compared to similar growth that took 8 years with Facebook, 8 years with YouTube and WhatsApp. It's very fast growing. And it is now, as we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, the most engaging social media, beating YouTube in time spent viewing. Okay. Anything else? Did I leave anything out, Jeff or Stacy or Ant, that you wanted to talk about?
Not yet. The one that I mentioned. That was on my brain.
Could go to the old trucker with the cute kitten.
Oh, Lord. You really have a...
At least it's not a musical.
Cute video problem. Old trucker.
Find one.
TikTok. Old trucker and Bobby, or should I say Bobby and old trucker now?
It's a whole series of videos with a really cute
little trucker and a little kitty.
Yep,
this is the beauty. I'm actually loving TikTok. And look at this, 3.1 million views.
Because how could resist this?
TikTok.
The internet's no cesspool.
Bobby, an old trucker, checking in this morning.
It's Bobby, an old
Do you follow
trucker.
the FedEx dog guy?
No.
He just warms my heart.
What's he called?
He's a FedEx delivery guy. I don't know. It's like the FedEx dog guy. I don't. Maybe that's his.
I have FedEx dog girl, but I don't know if I want to pull that one up.
No, don't do that.
Please don't.
This guy is a FedEx driver, and all he does is dogs come up to his truck when he shows up, and he just pets the dog and gives them a treat. And you meet lots of dogs, and he's clearly enjoying it. He's like, "Hello, buddy," and the dogs are like, "Hello."
Would you like to see my son's 10?
He hasn't been attacked.
10 million view TikTok?
He doesn't film those, Ant.
10 million views.
Oh my God.
10 million views for Salt underscore Hank. He is now, get ready for this, just 11,000 away from 500,000 followers. By the way,
Well, people, let's put this over the edge. Let's show the power of
Salt underscore Hank. Yeah, no, I don't think that's going to.
Is he advertising on the show yet? I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. Look at this, 16.7 million views. Look at this.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Wow.
There's something weird about TikTok,
Why do you
though.
show him
What?
every episode? Because I'm just going to be hungry.
That's
is
the
why I eat
point.
waffles.
That's the point.
This is why I eat
I'm
waffles.
always like,
I'll show you the one that only got 250,000 views. That'll turn you off. French fries
This is actually my second one.
and a chicken hero.
Well, that'll still climb, though.
Yeah, he actually, this is, you know why I didn't? I know why I didn't. This one is an ad for Dano's spice seasonings or something. They're paying him to put their seasoning in them. And I think TikTok saw that because it went from 4.6 million, 16.7, 13.7. These are the adjacent videos, 9.9 million. 250,000 right in the middle because it hadn't added. I think TikTok wants him.
Did he
Hashtag,
disclose?
yeah, hashtag. I think at the bottom it says hashtag Dano's
does TikTok
partnership.
not?
I think they don't want him to do ads. They don't say anything against it, but that's the only explanation
there was
I
just
can.
a story in the Wall Street Journal about TikTok and ads, I think.
They do ads, right? But you don't. The problem with the ads is they're not attached to your video like YouTube ads are. They're interstitial, so they don't really share the revenue with you. They have a creators fund. You can make some money from that, but it's not tied to the ad revenue. So, but they don't say you can't have ads in your TikToks. Lots of people do. But I notice, I mean, that's an interesting trend. All of a sudden, no views. I mean, could be, I mean, it was pretty subtle. I don't think it was because there was an ad in it. It was just, he showed the stuff. Well, I don't know.
Makes you wonder,
Maybe because you shouldn't put French fries in heroes.
I think might be that.
I think it might be that.
I think it might
it's
actually
wrong.
just been nobody wanted to
I
eat
think
that.
it's against the law.
They censored him. TikTok censored him for
We
French
have
fries.
found the Facebook dog guy.
FedEx dog guy, 174.
FedEx dog guy. Oh, you did?
On Facebook.
Oh, jeez.
Here he is.
But look at it.
Picked up a cute hitchhiker.
Look at these dogs. They're so happy.
He makes a new furry friend every day. What is he carrying squirrels around? What's going on here?
He carries
bacon.
treats.
Oh, he's got bacon. That's cute. That's better than, spraying him with dog repellent. He's got lots of treats. Oh, this is actually sweet. Thanks to the Daily Mail for that one.
All right.
All right. Now we're going to take a break. And when we come back, your picks of the week. And we're back.
You're so smooth.
Surprise!
And we're back. Stacey Higginbotham, what's your pick this week?
Well, this is something I just talked to someone about. This is where I was when I was sliding in to hit the show on time. I was hanging out with some dev friends, and they showed off the ESP32, the SP32, which is a very popular dev board out there for microcontrollers. And this one
$10
is brand new.
$10.
And it's the SP32 with a RISC-V processor.
What?
And
boy.
Wi-Fi.
So RISC-V
Yeah,
is
so
really
this is-
important because this is the open source
Future, right?
microprocessor. And I think that's very interesting. I'd love to see this take off. Great.
So,
Nice.
oh, it's totally taking off. Yeah, we're excited about this. So I just wanted to share this because, I mean, you can buy a dev kit for $10. You get a really powerful microcontroller. This is actually a larger processor than the traditional SB32, but with the RISC-V, you can do some machine learning stuff on it. That's pretty cool. So I just threw this out there because it hasn't been in stock. It's fairly new, and I just saw it in person, and it is like so tiny and so cool. And I don't know. Anyway, that's it. That's my thing this week.
That's a good thing. We'll talk more about RISC-V. We were talking a little bit about it on Floss Weekly last week when we interviewed the CEO and founder of System 76, because we were talking about this whole idea of core boot, open source boot firmware, but then wouldn't it be great if the processors are open source? And he believes that RISC-V is going to become the dominant.
RISC-V has been brought up.
You want to
on
educate
Floss
people
Weekly
about this
several times.
Yeah, sure, Stacey.
I was like, I can suggest so many great people. So you just asked me. I've been following this for years. I've been waiting for it. I just freaking love it.
Yeah, instead of it being Apple or Intel or
instead of it being Intel or ARM or MIPS or any.
Well,
so
just
this
proprietary.
Is an open source.
Yeah.
Well, yes. So basically, for anybody who wants to build and design a processor, you can build a custom processor now using open source tools. You'll still need like the compilers and all the other tooling, but that's what companies like SciTime are doing. And the big companies, NVIDIA, Western Digital, they're all building their own internal processor cores, like to manage their other processors, using RISC-V. But we're going to start seeing it in like consumer devices. And if you're a startup, it means you don't have to pay the licensing fees.
Yeah, it's a Creative Commons license, which is really huge. Yeah, very exciting. So we'll just keep an eye on it, and when there's stories, we'll definitely cover it, because I didn't realize you were a RISC-V devotee.
Oh yeah.
Or is it devotee? Anyway, you're one of them.
It was created in 2012 at Berkeley. I interviewed the guy who helped create it.
Yay.
Sorry, I'm a former Chip reporter. Y'all know that.
I know. I love it.
That's awesome.
Keep that up.
That's awesome.
Jeff Jarvis, do you have a numero for us?
Well, having already gotten in dogs, cats, and alligators, I'll turn to something serious and useful, I think.
Don't say
I
musical.
think this is new. I don't know. No, you're safe. You're safe. Fear not, my friend. Fear not. The Tech Legislation Tracker from CSET.
Okay.
Is pretty useful. All of the bills in process, how you become a bill, about technology.
Well, that's good. So there's a lot of stuff that we talk about is in here. So this is a great place to go to read about all of these, bills that we've been talking about on the show. Nice.
Lots of them.
Yeah.
Lots.
Wow, there's a lot.
I think this right here will give Mike Masnick a huge headache.
Yeah, a lot of them I'm going, what? No. What? No. All right, that is legislationtracker.cset.tech. CSET is the Center for Security and Emerging Technology. Nice. Mr. Ant Pruitt, what's your thing?
I've been dinking around more and more with DaVinci Resolve.
Nice.
Dinking around?
Just
dickering around.
I like dinking. It's a new verb to me. I like that.
Dinking is good.
I'm going to use that. I'm stealing that.
Yeah.
I'm stealing that.
Yeah.
Compliments of Mother Pruitt. That's where I come from.
Dinking around.
But yeah, I've been playing around with Resolve for a little while now. And just because it felt like it. And Mr. Alex Lindsay put me on to Ripple Training, and they had these amazing courses in there for people that are trying to learn different products such as DaVinci Resolve. But they also have a discount code. Mr. Lindsay gave me a discount code of Office Hours 50, and you get it for 50% off.
Oh, that's nice.
I just tried it right now because I bought this, I don't know how long ago, but I just tried the discount code right now and it still works. So at the time of this recording, if you're interested in learning Resolve or Motion for the Apple side of things, hey, go do it. RippleTraining.com.
Nice.
Next, I just want to give a shout out to listener and friend Charlie Hoover, because he's been on my brain. He's been working on his fitness and stuff, and he's doing a great job. And this product comes to mind. It's so simple, yet it's so tough. And I know you folks would really appreciate it. And it's just an ab roller.
Oh, I hate it when my trainer makes me do this. I hate
that
it.
little $10 device will break you down. I remember the first time.
You can do that on a foam roller.
Yeah, but this is easier because it's got handles. This has, like that, you're doing like push-ups with it, kind of, sort of.
I bought one of those probably about 10 years ago. And I remember when I first got it, the box said, do 5. And I'm looking at it, I was like, 5? Come on, man. I'm Ant Pruitt. I can do more than that. And I did my 5 or 10 or whatever, and I was dying the next day. It really does work out your core. So I highly recommend, if you can, afford $10, go order yourself an ab wheel and work on your core and get yourself a little bit more fit just from the core.
Yeah, it's not expensive.
$10. Oh, good old gravity will whoop your behind.
I hate it so much. Hate it.
And
you're cool.
And also order prints. Help me pay for college. antpruitt.com/prints. Help me pay for college. Go order a print. I got some stuff up there.
Suitable for framing. Oh, nice pictures. Nice.
And I'll be putting some new ones up there here soon. But yeah.
Put them on your wall. Oh, Whiskey River. I like that.
Yeah, that was a fun shoot.
Yeah. A whiskey dram on a flowing river. I hope no whiskey was lost in the making of this commercial.
Just lost into my liver.
Very nice stuff. Ant Pruitt. Ant, is it Ant underscore? Ant?
That's correct.
Regular, no underscore. Ant Pruitt. It's Ant underscore Pruitt on Instagram.
Oh, on my website.
Website's Ant no underscore. AntPruitt.com/prints. But Ant underscore Pruitt on Instagram.
That's right.
Thank you, Ant. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Leo.
Tomorrow, listen to Stacy on IoT, right? You're going to be talking, the IoT podcast, you're going to be talking about Amazon Trust with Kevin Toffel.
Yep.
That comes out tomorrow. You can also go to stacyoniot.com and subscribe to the newsletter and read all the good stuff. If any events in the offing?
Man, you were really pushing my events.
Well, I just want to give you every reason to come back week after week.
I appreciate it. I do not have any events.
Good. Now. Okay. Simple. But you should still go to the website on a regular basis to check. Mr. Jeff Jarvis is the director of the Town Knight Center for Entrepreneurial Journalism at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York. Frank Sinatra called him a bum, former TV guide critic. Thank you, buzzmachine.com. Ant Pruitt, our hands-on photography host at twit.tv/hop. He's also the community manager for our fabulous Club Twit. If you're not a member, twit.tv/clubtwit. Well worth it. Big AMA
also
coming up.
Offering corporate plans for you folks working in the enterprise, and all of you folks who are fans of Twit, sign up for our corporate plan of Club Twit.
Nice. Yeah, a way that you as a company can give Club Twit to your employees and help us stay on the air. It's also a great place, our discourse, to join our special events. I want to plug next week's special event. Is that going to be next Friday? When are you going to do that?
October 8th will be with Mr. Steve Gibson. I'm going to have a fireside chat and a bit of an AMA with him.
That's going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And he was really excited to do this, so I can't wait.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's a rare opportunity to pick Steve's brain, so that'll be a lot of fun. Join Club Twit, twit.tv/Club Twit. We do this show every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2100 UTC. You can watch us do it live at twit.tv/live, chat live at irc.twit.tv, or if you're a member of Club Twit in our Discord server, you can also get on-demand versions of the show at twit.tv/twig. I'm going to say this quickly before Stacy falls asleep. Also, you can watch us on the YouTube channel. I heard that yawn, Stacy. I heard that yawn.
I took allergy medicine. I'm so sorry.
She's a little sleepy. At least you held the yawn during the changelog, so that was good. We have a full-time YouTube channel where all our shows live. it looks just like that. No, it looks just like that. And the best way to get the show, of course, subscribe. That way you'll get it as soon as it's finished, edited up, put out for your listening pleasure or viewing pleasure. Subscribe in your favorite podcast client. Don't forget, if your client allows reviews, to leave us a 5-star review. Tell the world about this fabulous show.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Have a wonderful week. I will see you next time on This Week in Google. Bye-bye.
Android is constantly evolving, and if you're part of the Android faithful, then you'll be just as excited about it as I am. I'm Jason Howell, host of All About Android, along with my co-hosts Florence Ion and Ron Richards, where every week we cover the news, we cover the hardware, and we cover the apps that are driving the Android ecosystem. Plus, we invite people who are writing about Android, talking about Android, and making Android onto the show. Every Tuesday at twit.tv, look for All About Android.